Hey everyone, welcome to day 3 of VEDA. I thought I'd take the time to talk to you about my favourite philosopher. Is he my favourite philosopher? Does Ayn Rand count? Ayn Rand's probably my favourite philosopher. My second favourite philosopher, Diogenes. Now Diogenes was a philosopher, a Greek philosopher, who hung out with Plato and Socrates. He was in their school that they set up for philosophy at the same time as them, but he was a very different philosopher to them. He set up the first type of cynicism. He created a branch of philosophy called cynicism. He was a cynic. And it's not meant in the same way as it's meant today. Cynicism was living steadfastly, disdain from all forms of luxury, begging for food, living in complete poverty and in accordance with nature. So I thought I'd share with you some of the exploits of Diogenes, because he's fairly famous. He was famous in the Greek world for being first kind of prankster, kind of troll in a way. So I thought I'd share with you some of the stuff that he got up to. So a student of philosophy goes up to Diogenes and he says, "Please sir, let me prove to you that there's no such thing as motion," and Diogenes just gets up and leaves. Which I think is great, because the arguments against motion are not very good, hardly very good at all. One argument is, to get to somewhere where you have to go, you first have to get halfway there first. But to get to halfway, you first have to get to halfway to there, and then halfway to there first, until there's an infinite number of places that you have to go to. And so you never get anywhere. Which is obviously bunk, because you can go to all these places in a straight line at the same time. So that doesn't work, and Diogenes was completely correct in saying that that doesn't work. Diogenes was once asked what he thought of Socrates, and he says, "a madman." Plato was once asked what he thought of Diogenes, and he says, "a Socrates gone mad," and Diogenes scolded him for being too long-winded. Diogenes was asked why he always begged, and he says, "to teach people." And people said, "well, what are you teaching them?" And he says, "generosity." One day Diogenes was walking through the marketplace, holding a lantern, a lit lantern, in the middle of the day, walking around, and when people came up to him and said, "Diogenes, what are you doing?" he would say, "I am looking for an honest man." Diogenes was once passing a stream and he sees a child drinking water out of his hands, and he goes, "I have been bested in simplicity by a child," and throws his cup away. One last story about Diogenes, and it includes another person who you should know, Alexander the Great, who was the king of the Greek Empire for quite a while. He goes to Corinth, which is where Diogenes lived, and he walks up to him and says, and he asks if there's anything he can do for him. And Diogenes says, "Yeah, just get up my light." And then Alexander then says, "If I were not Alexander, then I should wish to be Diogenes." Which is the biggest compliment in the world. It's like second best to being part of one of the most powerful empires in the world is being Diogenes. And I agree, Diogenes was a great man. I'll see you tomorrow, I guess. Happy Diogenes. Yeah.